Tonight on 7 News, fighting back. Lawyers for the Melbourne men arrested in a counter-terror takedown lash out at police. Australia was warned. Anthony Albanese now under pressure over intelligence failures. Violence as mourners clash with police outside a Geelong funeral. 300,000 Epstein files drop. Why the release has triggered a backlash. Fears for animal welfare at Melbourne Aquarium, including Pesto the penguin. Plus, history made in the Big Bash with a record run chase.
Live from Melbourne, this is 7 News with Blake Johnson.
Good evening. A lawyer for 7 Melbourne men arrested in a dramatic counter-terror takedown in Sydney has lashed out at police after the men were released without charge. The group is taking legal action against the force, but the New South Wales Premier is standing by his officers.
They were accused of suspicious activity. Now the Liverpool 7 are accusing police of racial profiling and wrongful arrests.
They're obviously very shaken up.
Some of the Melbourne mates are discussing options with a lawyer to sue authorities after their trip to Sydney was violently interrupted.
Where young men were targeted and believed and named and had already been, it appeared that they'd already been condemned to have been terrorists and had ill intentions when none of that had been proven.
I'm not in a position, nor will I speculate about a private citizen's lawyer launching an action against the New South Wales government. It's up to them.
Police rammed into their cars in Liverpool Thursday afternoon. A dramatic arrest. Tasers used. Rounds of non-lethal rubber bullets fired too.
Guns were pointed on them. There were some physical injuries. I know some of them are really sore and still feeling pain from those injuries to today.
Police arrested them, later detailing suspicions of a possible terrorist plot.
Islamic extremist ideology is something we are looking at between them.
But they were freed without charge after 23 hours.
We just came for a vacation, mate. Honestly, that was the whole goal.
It really takes the mantra of innocent until proven guilty and reverses that. And that's something that we can't stand for.
It also leads to mistrust where you have a situation of police officers swinging sledgehammers to crack whatever peanuts they can find. It can all be very counterproductive and harmful where things are not done properly.
None of the agencies involved, that's Victoria, New South Wales and Federal Police and ASIO, will reveal which was the source of the suspicion and intelligence about the group. And even though there is no evidence the men did anything wrong, police continue to monitor them.
We need to allow police to do their job, to keep us safe. There's no second guessing in the circumstances where information needs to be acted on immediately.
To achieve that, New South Wales and Federal Police redeploying 1,000 officers to tackle anti-Semitism and hate.
The New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team continues to review evidence and information, including from search warrants conducted as recently as yesterday. We are leaving no stone unturned in Australia and overseas in this investigation.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
Bondi lifesavers have returned to the beach where they saved so many lives in a show of solidarity. They stood silent for 3 minutes, a gesture replicated by colleagues right around the country.
Arm in arm, hand in hand, the volunteer heroes of the Bondi Beach terror attack. Hate replaced by love, the Bondi and North Bondi Surf Life Saving Clubs standing as a united front for 3 minutes silence. Pain too much for Manfred Frankel, a local Jewish South African expat and bakery owner who regularly served some of the 15 who perished.
I came here for a better place. I think this is a better place. I hope it's a better place. No one is taught how to comprehend and deal with that kind of stuff.
Joined by the New South Wales Governor and their comrades across the country, surf lifesavers in Adelaide, Melbourne, Perth and further south in Sydney at Allura Beach, oars to the sky.
This is just a really lovely moment for our people who are really traumatised.
Thrust right into the thick of it on Sunday, the Bondi and North Bondi surf clubs were having their Christmas parties next to the beach. They heard shots and ran towards the danger.
You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the standard of your training.
And that training saved lives.
We didn't even think about it, we just applied what we learned in a really strange scenario.
Applying first aid, using paddle boards as stretchers.
People working together, many hands making light of a very challenging problem and very challenging environment.
So we actually had some lifesavers in the field applying life-saving measures, dressed as elves and in Santa Claus.
Both clubs rewarded. Extra funding promised from the PM today.
Many of these lifesavers also, of course, ran towards danger to provide support to use the skills that they have to save lives.
Surf lifesavers are back to normal life-saving duties once again as beachgoers return to Bondi on the first weekend since last Sunday's horror. This is a place forever scarred by the actions of 2 gunmen. But like the ocean, life rolls on. No one letting hate destroy the Australian spirit. Rex Quayle, 7 News.
Former Treasurer and Jewish community leader Josh Frydenberg has attacked the Allen government for a pro-Palestine rally planned in Melbourne on Monday. It's organised by an anti-Zionism group whose previous events have triggered clashes. Mr Frydenberg says the state government is allowing the protest to pour petrol on the fire of hate.
That's unthinkable that could be allowed to go ahead. Yet the Premier is standing by while this threatens to go ahead.
The Premier has previously rejected calls for protest permits. Australia was warned anti-Semitism was the biggest concern to intelligence agencies almost a year ago. Tonight there are questions over why those warnings weren't acted on, and the Prime Minister is under increasing pressure to explain.
At the Great Synagogue in Sydney, after a week of horror and heartbreak, Anthony Albanese celebrates Hanukkah.
It showed to me that the spirit of our Jewish Australian community is completely unbreakable. Australia will not allow these evil, anti-Semitic terrorists to divide us.
The Prime Minister under mounting pressure to explain why he didn't do more to stamp out anti-Semitism in the months leading to Australia's deadliest terror attack.
Counter-terrorism is a known threat to Australia, and it looks like there's been a level of complacency and disinterest.
Australia's top spy boss issued this dire warning back in February.
In terms of threats to life, it's my agency's #1 priority because of the weight of incidents we're seeing play out in this country.
Racism, the agency's biggest concern for the first time.
Why wasn't his warning listened to? Why wasn't his warning acted upon?
There's left a lot to be desired when it comes to showing leadership and strength.
Anthony Albanese set to announce a spy probe to determine whether intelligence agencies have the resources they need to tackle extremism.
What do you say to criticism from members of the federal opposition and some Jewish leaders that your leadership has been weak during this time?
Well, I say that this is a time for us to unite. We want these issues to not be issues which are partisan.
The Prime Minister hasn't supported calls for a Commonwealth Royal Commission, leaving that to New South Wales, a move that narrows the scope of investigation. Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
The New South Wales Premier is demanding a royal commission into Sunday's massacre to trace the trail of evil right to its core and to ensure there's never a repeat. Chris Minns has also done what Victoria won't, flagging new laws and police powers to crack down on protesters.
In the falling rain, they still came to Bondi to add their blooms, their tears, their questions. Where last night candles were lit for a new night of Hanukkah and the Shabbat. But on this Jewish day of rest, the Premier said there's more work to do.
Things have changed since Sunday. We don't live in that world anymore. This is the truth.
Announcing more new laws from Monday, a ban on a range of hate symbols, including the ISIS flag, like the one seen on the gunman's car.
Either in the streets, during a public demonstration, or in houses, anywhere.
Police to get powers to remove face coverings from protesters suspected of committing an offence.
To identify who is responsible for offensive conduct, hateful slogans or racist behaviour.
With phrases like this to become illegal.
Horrific recent events have shown that the chant "globalise the intifada" is hate speech and it encourages violence in our community. The chant will be banned alongside other hateful comments and statements made in our community.
And that after Sunday's attack, there must be answers.
I think we need a Royal Commission. We need a comprehensive look at this horrible terrorism event to ensure that we do everything possible so that it doesn't happen again.
I will support whatever actions the New South Wales Government take. We are working in lockstep.
And as tougher anti-protest laws are about to be introduced, plans for rallies have circulated. One tomorrow afternoon, organisers say, will feature Barnaby Joyce, with police urging people to avoid unauthorised gatherings.
We think it's hugely important to keep Sydney together. Don't give in to hate.
As a new image captures the innocence and joy of that Sunday, 10-year-old Matilda before the attack that would take her life. Her family posting this tribute from her younger sister Summer at Thursday's funeral. The 15th and final victim now named as 68-year-old grandmother Tanya Tretiak from Randwick. As 14 patients remain in Sydney hospitals tonight, from Royal North Shore to St George, 4 are still critical. One of them is this man who runs to help hero Ahmed Al-Ahmed, now confirmed as 30-year-old Israeli national Geffen Bitten. He was shot, fell to the ground and shot again, said his family today. Geffen's put his own life at risk with his selfless actions. For him, the survivors, and all those lost, a city left in shock has shown its true colours. The flowers will start to be removed from Monday. Waverley Council, the state government and Jewish community making a record of the tributes. The Jewish Museum collecting cards and other items, some preserved for a future memorial.
And Paul's at Bondi Beach tonight. Paul, you have more details for tomorrow's Day of Reflection.
Blake, the Premier and Prime Minister say it will be a day for the whole nation to honour the victims, to stand in solidarity with the Jewish community and share in their grief. Here at Bondi today, overlooking the beach, they were making preparations for a community memorial event tomorrow, organised with Jewish leaders, which the Prime Minister will be attending. While everywhere tomorrow, flags will be flown at half-mast, buildings will be lit up in yellow, and here at the Bondi Pavilion, there'll be beams of light into the sky. And then tomorrow at 6:47 p.m, Australians are being asked to observe a minute's silence and invited to light a candle in what's been called a quiet act of remembrance with loved ones, to pause, reflect and affirm that hatred and violence will never define who we are. Blake.
Paul Kadak live at Bondi. Thank you. The funeral for a Geelong teenage crash victim has ended in violence as mourners clashed with police. Officers came to put a stop to repeated burnouts, but ended up beating a hasty retreat.
As the hearse carrying the body of JJ Hutchinson left the funeral, cars following did burnouts. Apparently a tribute to the dead 17-year-old. After multiple calls from the public, police arrived. Their car surrounded and kicked by mourners. They claimed victory when police were treated. 2 weeks ago, JJ was killed, a front seat passenger in this car. 2 other teens were injured. A 16-year-old charged with culpable driving. Today, the road around the scene was covered with graffiti, and the pole the car hit is a makeshift shrine. Among photos and flowers, alcohol cans and spray cans. No one was injured in the incidents after the funeral, and as yet, no arrests have been made. Nick McCallum, 7 News.
A suspicious blaze has destroyed a townhouse in Melbourne's north. Fire crews were called to the two-storey home in Glenroy just before 8 last night. The property was already well alight. It took fireys almost an hour to bring it under control. Residents in neighbouring homes were evacuated as thick smoke filled the street. Fortunately, no one was injured. A memorial has been held for 2 of the 4 people killed in a horror minibus crash in the state's north. Members of the Papua New Guinea community travelled to Shepparton today to pay tribute to the farm workers.
Devastating to hear about the loss of our members, and I'm sure everyone of Papua New Guinea living here are feeling the same as well.
They're now fundraising to bring the bodies home. 4 teenage girls remain in a serious condition. The 39-year-old driver is under police guard in hospital. The 15 victims of the Bondi attack will be honoured tonight during one of Australia's most cherished Christmas traditions. Matt Shervington joins us now from Carols in the Domain. Shervo, the festivities are needed more than ever.
Yeah, Blake, it's been a harrowing week, an emotional week, hasn't it, for the country. Tonight we're going to gather again and we're going to remember and we're going to reflect as well. We're also going to lift spirits and we're going to sing. The Salvos have been involved with Carols in the Domain for 43 years. And even this week, the Salvos volunteers have been in Bondi helping out in any way that they possibly can. Tonight, our performers want to help them out. They're going to get to the stage the likes of Hugh Sheridan, Kate Miller-Heidke, Marsha Hines, Budra, Leo Sayer, and country superstar James Johnston as well. They're going to sing their hearts out. And Christmas is a magical time for the kids, and we want to put smiles on kids' faces tonight, that's for sure. How do we do that? Well, it wouldn't be a Carols without the Wiggles. We've got some Disney princesses as well. And that bloke, the person all dressed in red with the white beard, Blake, what's his name again?
I reckon I've seen him before. Santa, that's him.
Too. It's going to be, it's going to be a magical night at Carols in the Domain here.
Good on you, Shervo. Looking forward to it. Have a great night. Australia is on the verge of sealing the Ashes in Adelaide. Kate Massey's here with the latest. Kate, it looks all but over for England.
It certainly does, Blake. The only thing that could deny the Aussies a third Test win in Adelaide is disaster. Now, Pat Cummins' side only needs 4 wickets on day 5 for victory. England 228 runs away from a near impossible world record chase.
The day after, the night before.
The wickets looked after me over the last few years, so I don't know if I get another opportunity to next year be pressure on.
After a 4th straight century at home, Travis Head continued his love affair with Adelaide Oval.
I got the rise out of the dressing room than I expected, so yeah, took the piss a bit.
He and fellow South Aussie star Alex Carey resumed with a 356-run lead.
Well, that's just an absolute gift for Travis Head. One he will gratefully accept on his way to 150.
But his stellar knock ended on 170. Australia losing 6 for 78 in the opening session. England set 435 to win.
They have to win this game. They're 2-0 down, and to get any chance in the Ashes, they have to win this game.
A record-setting test match on and off the field. This father and son won $300 for being fans 199,146 and 7.
What do you reckon you want? New bat, maybe?
I don't really know.
Nothing new about Pat Cummins' brilliance.
Edged, gone! Labuschagne takes the catch.
Edge and taken. Incredible catching from Marnus Labuschagne.
The misery continued for Ben Duckett and Ollie Pope. The skipper picked up the first 3 wickets, but the Barmy Army's still believing.
England, we're going to win 3-2.
A Christmas Test miracle now lies on the shoulders of England's embattled batting lineup.
They've not hit the straps throughout this series. If you can get through to lunchtime tomorrow, I think it's going to be a special game, this.
The Ashes and perhaps some careers will be decided on the final day tomorrow. In Adelaide, Tom Wilson, 7 News.
Plenty more cricket still to come. In sport, we go one-on-one with Greg Blewett to break down a dominant day 4, plus all the highlights from what's being dubbed the greatest game in Big Bash history. And I will have all the details from one of the world's highly anticipated boxing fights. Blake, I'll see you soon.
All right, Kate. See you shortly. Thank you. There are claims tonight that understaffing at Melbourne Aquarium is putting animal welfare at risk, including the world-famous penguin Pesto. That's next. Also, head on 7 News, the high-profile figures pictured in newly released Epstein files. A terrifying ride for students as an escalator goes rogue. Later, cheaper access to a celebrity weight loss jab. There are fears for the welfare of animals at Melbourne's Sea Life Aquarium, including Pesto, the chunky penguin who shot to worldwide fame. Staff there say there simply isn't enough people to properly care for them.
Marching out in protest as school holiday visitors stream in.
What do we want? Fair wages! Do we want them? Now!
They're also worried for the welfare of the animals, like the famous chunky penguin who's captured hearts around the world.
Hi guys! Can you wish me luck for Saturday?
They accuse Sea Life management of cashing in on Pesto's popularity, pocketing the profits while leaving the animals out in the cold.
We also have concerns for animal welfare and safety, obviously if there are not enough staff on to properly care for the animals.
Staff say they're also being fed to the sharks, underpaid, understaffed and overworked, leading to serious safety fears.
If a child goes missing, there are not enough workers on site to be able to help find those missing children.
While Sea Life remains open today, the union hasn't ruled out escalating action over the course of the school holidays if management doesn't come to the table.
Visitors today sympathetic.
It's for a really good reason, especially at this time of the year when everybody's trying to get Christmas presents and make ends meet.
Merlin Entertainments says the company is committed to reaching an agreement, but they need to ensure it won't impact the experience of guests or the ability to maintain current staffing levels.
The work they do is amazing, so it should be appreciated.
Because they do work hard.
Christy Cooper, 7 News.
Anthony Albanese has praised US strikes on ISIS targets overnight in Syria. Donald Trump says it was retaliation for the vicious killing of American troops last weekend.
The actions of the United States government are timely, are swift and are decisive, and we support those actions.
The strike targeted ISIS fighters, infrastructure and weapons sites. It's been highly anticipated, and today the US government released hundreds of thousands of documents connecting high-profile figures to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It's not the full set of files as promised. It's been heavily redacted, prompting a backlash from both sides of politics.
300,000 files and photos were dumped today. There are hundreds of thousands still to come. Many of them have been heavily redacted, disappointing victims of Jeffrey Epstein's evil world.
It's justice denied.
While nothing released today proves any illegality, there is more embarrassment for people who've associated with Epstein and his convicted offsider, Ghislaine Maxwell, over many years. Former President Bill Clinton is pictured in a spa. A person next to him has been blacked out. Clinton with Mick Jagger and Ghislaine Maxwell. Clinton again with Michael Jackson, and a painting depicting Clinton in a dress. Epstein seen here with Michael Jackson, and Epstein with Richard Branson. There are many more. Here is a previously unseen photo of former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor lying across the laps of 5 women, and one of his former wife, Sarah Ferguson, who had a long friendship and financial relationship with Epstein.
Yeah, there were famous people who thought it was cool to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. That's not a crime.
But in today's release, no photos of President Donald Trump, and he wasn't entertaining questions about it.
I really don't want to soil it up by asking questions, even questions that are very fair questions that I'd love to answer. So I think we have to just stop right here.
While the White House claims it's being totally transparent, it's admitted the Department of Justice has failed to comply with a law passed by Congress to release everything it holds on Epstein by today. Tonight, President Trump is heading back to Florida for the holiday break, unable to wave away the single issue even his own supporters say he's failed to give a straight answer to. In the United States, Jeff Parry, 7 News.
The video we're about to show you looks like it's in fast forward, but it isn't. This is the real speed of an out-of-control escalator at a university in Bangladesh. Dozens of students were crowded on it when it suddenly accelerated without warning. Each had to dismount carefully, then scramble out of the way of those behind them. They did a pretty good job. Luckily, no one was hurt. Tyra Stowers joins us from Melbourne's east tonight with a check on the weather. And Tyra, the search continues for the best Christmas lights.
And it is really ramping up, Blake, with just 5 sleeps to go till Christmas. As you can tell, I'm very excited. I'm here in Donvale tonight where they have decorated every inch of the home behind me and it looks fantastic. And the owners have been doing this for the past 30 years now. They've got an inflatable giant Santa, a snowman, even a stormtrooper for you Star Wars fans out there, to colourful lights displays. Now, Glenn and Melissa, the homeowners, have really gone all out and they'll need to brace for tomorrow though, as we do have a big change set to move across the state with increased humidity and unsettled conditions. This will make for thunderstorms across much of Victoria, which will be more severe about the north and the east. So a big change to the past few days than we've seen. But I'll have more on that and your full forecast coming up a little later, Blake. But how great does it all look behind me?
Very impressive setup. Tyra, we'll see you shortly. Thank you. Midnight shopping is back for Christmas. Next on 7 News, everything you need to know for a last-minute shopping spree. Also ahead, Ukraine strikes another blow to Russian energy security. Smoke bombs and chaos. A masked man launches a deadly train station attack. And Harry and Meghan return fire in the Battle of the Royal Christmas Snaps. A man who police claim tried to grab an officer's gun at Melbourne Airport has been charged with assaulting and obstructing federal police. Officers tasered the man after a confrontation at a gate. It is alleged the 35-year-old UK national tried to board an international flight without a ticket and was behaving erratically. He's been remanded in custody. The last-minute Christmas shopping rush is underway across Melbourne. Phoebe Worthley is at High Point, where shopping centre hours have been extended.
Well, Blake, shops will remain open here until midnight as retailers brace for tens of thousands to flood through these doors in the days leading up to Christmas. High Point will trade for a whopping 17 hours on the 23rd, 9 a.m. till 2 a.m, so Melburnians can secure their last-minute gifts. Chadstone is expecting 100,000 customers through its doors a day, operating until 11 p.m. over the next few days. For those in the southeast, Westfield won't be open as late, but you can shop until 10 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday. And for those in the city, Melbourne Central will trade 12 hours a day. The Australian Retailers Association expects we'll splurge more than $72 billion in the lead up to Christmas. That's up 4% on last year. Now, over the next few days, expect to see a rush not just at the shops, but at the markets too, as the race for fresh seafood for Christmas Day begins.
Thank you, Phoebe. A knife-wielding attacker has killed 3 people and injured another 5 in a violent rampage in Taiwan's capital, Taipei. The attacker wore a mask and threw smoke bombs before turning on crowds at a major metro station. Local authorities are yet to determine a motive. The suspect died after falling from a building while escaping police. A last-minute emergency deal has been struck to fund Ukraine's war effort, with the European Union agreeing to a multi-billion-dollar loan. But it's not the plan the EU wants, after a number of countries were unwilling to take the risk of being in the sights of Vladimir Putin.
It's his annual marathon press conference, Vladimir Putin on live television for more than 4 hours, though nothing too critical broadcast and no hint at compromise to achieve peace in Ukraine. Our troops are advancing across all the lines of contact, he said. The Russian president also claiming victory on the European Union's failure to reach an agreement on using frozen Russian assets to fund Ukraine's war effort. It is daylight robbery. Why can't this robbery be carried out, he asks? Because the consequences could be grave for the robbers. But the EU has agreed to lend Ukraine $160 billion to keep it in the fight for another 2 years. Hungary, Slovakia and the Czech Republic refusing to take part.
And Ukraine will only repay this loan once Russia pays reparations.
A disappointing result for Volodymyr Zelensky, still thankful for the emergency backup deal.
I think that Europe showed leadership, and this is very important and tough, strong position.
1,600 kilometres away from the front line, Ukrainian drones were striking a Russian oil tanker in the Mediterranean, part of its shadow fleet skirting sanctions. Putin is promising retaliation, with the push for peace still ongoing.
I think we've made progress, but we have ways to go, and obviously the hardest issues are always the last issues.
In London, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have shared a snapshot of Archie and Lilibet releasing their annual Christmas card. In the photo shared on social media, Meghan wrote, "Happy holidays from our family to yours." The picture comes a day after Prince and Princess of Wales released a new family portrait which featured on their Christmas card. A powerful weight loss jab could soon be available at the fraction of the price to thousands of Australians. That's next. Also ahead on 7 News, a warning on Christmas packages, how to keep them safe from thieves. Victoria's 20-million-year-old fossil discovered by a keen-eyed beachgoer. And in sport, the YouTube king versus boxing royalty, the global spectacle raising eyebrows. Thousands of Australians could get cheaper access to a popular weight loss jab after an independent committee recommended it be added to the pharmaceutical benefit scheme to treat obesity. Cassidy Moscone explains.
Semaglutide injections effectively suppress appetite. Available here in Australia, brands like Ozempic or Wegovy, but only if you're willing to pay. The jabs are expensive, between $250 and $450 a month, putting it out of reach for many. Wegovy is the drug being considered. If it's added to the PBS, it would be less than $40 a month. A huge difference, but it's not for everyone. The Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee has only recommended Wegovy be made available for adults with established cardiovascular disease with obesity. Industry experts say it's a step in the right direction for future expansion. The demand is there. The committee revealing 420,000 Aussies paid for Wegovy in July alone.
Medication isn't the only way to use weight loss. It's important that you use it within a plan with your GP and perhaps a dietitian to make sure that you're eating the right things, you're getting the appropriate amount of exercise.
No timeline has been given, but a health department spokesperson confirmed it will work to progress the new PBS listing.
Thank you, Cassidy. A 20-million-year-old whale fossil has been discovered in Ocean Grove. It was spotted by a keen-eyed beachgoer. Museums Victoria has confirmed the age of the find and is now planning to head to the area to salvage and preserve the fossil. They'll also work to determine what type of whale it is. As Victorians rush to send Christmas parcels by post, there is a warning to stay vigilant against porch pirates. Parcel theft is on the rise. New data shows millions of deliveries are at risk.
Presents left at front doors gone in seconds. As deliveries surge, thieves are striking.
What we are unfortunately seeing is that there's a lot of opportunistic theft taking place for parcels.
The risk is highest in big cities. Sydney and Melbourne, the worst hit.
It's really a combination of having more parcels and more people living in higher density properties.
More than 110 million parcels will be delivered across Australia this Christmas. According to Freight Insure, as many as 1 in every 100 will be stolen, lost or damaged.
And that's got a big consequence for people giving gifts around the country.
Oh, it can be very frustrating. It can be very time consuming for a small business.
Dominique has been shipping precious cargo, including mirrors, for 4 years. Damaged deliveries are her biggest fear because she has to foot the bill.
I can be charged for stuff that has been damaged in transit, and I think that's a bit unfair.
Everyone will try and blame the carrier, whereas really at law, it's the shipper of the goods, the sender of the goods, that is at fault.
To avoid parcels from being stolen, Crime Stoppers says the simplest fix is to avoid front door deliveries when you're not at home. Instead, use a parcel locker or post office.
People sometimes see things that's suspicious, but they don't bother. And we just want to encourage people to really report suspicious activity.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
It was a long way from the North Pole, but dozens of Santas and elves were making waves on a festive journey down the Yarra River today. Crowds watched on as around 100 stand-up paddleboarders embraced the sunshine to spread some festive cheer. Hello again, Kate. The Aussies are on the brink of sealing the Ashes.
They are, Blake. England has a monster run chase ahead of them on day 5. Coming up, Pat Cummins leads from the front as a pair of hometown heroes prepare for the all but certain winning celebrations. Also, all the highlights from the Big Bash's most entertaining clash, and the boxing world left baffled after Anthony Joshua's return to the ring. Welcome back. Australia is 4 wickets away from an Ashes series victory after dismantling England's top order late on day 4. Travis Head and Alex Carey's batting heroics put the Aussies 434 runs clear before Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon worked their magic.
Two of South Australia's finest strolling onto Adelaide Oval with one hand on the urn.
Cracked away. Welcome back.
Travis Head made his way past 150, building on a dominant day 3, but ultimately fell for 170, 5 short of his Test cricket high score.
A monumental achievement.
A well-executed plan saw Alex Carey glance one straight to leg slip on 72, and despite the tail folding, Australia was 434 runs ahead.
That's up and taken.
Ben Duckett sent Pat Cummins to the fence on his first ball, and the Barmy Army erupted before going silent the very next ball.
Edged, gone! England's prospects plummets.
A routine catch for Marnus, helping get his eye in for this screamer to send Ollie Pope packing.
Incredible catching from Marnus Labuschagne.
Going down left-handed. It's a stunner.
Joe Root and Zach Crawley steered the visitors to T2 down before Pat Cummins dismissed Root for the 13th time in a Test match.
And that is out. Pat Cummins is a master.
Root was furious, his side on the brink of a series defeat. Still, a slow and steady innings from Zach Crawley anchored the English.
This is the best I've ever seen Crawley batted. There's been no big shots, he's just batted.
The Bazball philosophy wasn't going down without a fight.
That's the worst batting I've ever seen. Imagine walking back into the dressing room in front of your mates in a must-win Ashes Test match, having got out like that.
Clearly, Harry Brook wasn't listening. It worked for a moment, but ultimately was his downfall.
Lyon does break up the partnership.
You get out reverse sweeping. In a Test, you're looking to win an Ashes match.
And then, out came the skipper.
Got in! That's the big one!
But sometimes you just cop an unplayable delivery. The dangerous Zach Crawley fell to Lyon only minutes after.
And Nathan Lyon is the GOAT.
An Ashes victory only 4 wickets away. Xander Maguire, 7 News.
Tom Wilson is with former Australian batter and 7 cricket commentator Greg Blewett at Adelaide Oval.
Greg Blewett joins me now. Bluey, what a bowling performance from the returning men of Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon.
Pat Cummins, superstar. Let's just say that. Got Joe Root out again, their best player. And then Nathan Lyon just sort of ripped the heart out of England late on day 4 when they probably just got themselves into a position where maybe they might have thought they were a bit of a chance of pulling something special off.
What about Alex Carey, who scored the 100 and a brilliant keeping performance in Brisbane? He's backed it up again. What has it been about his leap in this series?
I think he's just got to that sweet spot, Tom, where he's very comfortable in the team, and when you're playing international cricket, if you can get that and then you just play your own game, you feel really comfortable in yourself, and he's definitely there. So
you talked about Kearns for England. There was a glimmer of hope for them, but how demoralising is it for them? It's going to be all over in 3 tests and 11 days of cricket.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, they did get themselves into a reasonable position today. I mean, it would have been a miracle to chase that many runs down. Yeah, I feel for their supporters. They've come out here in thousands to watch their team. They just have been completely outplayed.
It's hard to believe. Well done. Thanks very much, Bluey.
No worries, Tom.
515 runs and 36 sixes. Last night's Big Bash clash between the Heat and Scorchers did not disappoint. It's being dubbed the greatest game in the league's history, with Brisbane pulling off the tournament's biggest ever run chase.
History at the Gabba, 18 sixes, a Big Bash record. And the second highest score in the comp's history, 257. But that was just the Perth innings. More Christmas miracles awaited, despite the Heat's chase starting terribly. Matt Renshaw looked on his way for just 20.
This should be out. It is.
The third umpire disagreed, Renshaw recalled, his century coming off just 51 balls, reminding Aussie Test selectors of what he can do. His thoughts, though, still with good mate Usman Khawaja.
I've been pretty vocal with what my opinions are, so it's nice to see that he's repaid my favour.
But if Renshaw was impressive, Jack Wildermuth was next level. His first BBL century coming off only 46 balls, as records fell everywhere.
And the first time there's been 2 centurions in the same team in a Big Bash game.
And then the biggest run chase in BBL history was complete.
To think in the change rooms at half-time that, you end up chasing that and breaking those records, you can't dream of it.
Renshaw and Wildermuth's partnership of 212 is the best witnessed in the Big Bash. 36 sixes is another comp record.
Full toss, gone.
Luke McGarry, 7 News.
Billed by boxing experts as a mismatched farce of a fight, Jake Paul's exhibition bout with former heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua in Miami didn't prove them wrong. After 4 rounds of Paul tackling his much larger opponent, the referee confirmed it.
Listen, rough tackling's got to stop, okay? The fans didn't pay to see this crap, okay?
Amen.
You gonna fight,
Joshua eventually knocked out Paul in the 6th round. Shaggy and Rory McIlroy were among the crowd in Miami. Whatever their opinion, the fighters had the last laugh, walking away with $140 million each. Blake, must be nice for them.
Oh, wouldn't that be handy?
That is all sport.
Good on you, Kate. Thank you very much. Tyra is back from Don Vale for a look at the weather. Tyra, our run of warmth has come to an end.
Oh, unfortunately it has, Blake, and we are back to grey skies and below average temperatures. I'll tell you when the sunshine returns in the full forecast coming up next, live from Don Vale. Welcome back to Don Vale tonight. Well, we started with lots of cloud about this morning, but this gradually cleared the east as the day went on. And as you can see around me, we have lots of blue skies and sunshine to finish off our day. But soak it all up as we are in for a big change tomorrow. 16 was the overnight low about the city, and it didn't climb much from there, only reaching 22. Okay, taking a look at what happened around your suburb today. Partly cloudy for the most part. Winds have been cool and southerly, reaching 25 k's. Scoresby hit 23. Further out, from late this afternoon, thunderstorms fired up about the northern districts, and then we are now moving to what's happened about the country. Another more intense low pressure system and associated cold front are forecast to move across Victoria tomorrow, and this will bring storms and unstable conditions. Around the country tomorrow, Brisbane sunshine, Sydney 34 and storms, Canberra 29, Adelaide cooler 24, Darwin 33. Back home, thunderstorms across much of the state. These will be more severe about the border, and there's set to be heavy rainfall, damaging winds and large hail about the north and northeast of the state, so keep an eye on that. Mildura hits 31. Closer in, cloudy, a lot of rain about Melbourne. We have up to 30 millimetres forecast, so watch out for flash flooding, and there is the chance of a thunderstorm later in the day. Looking ahead, a fairly settled week. Tomorrow 22, Monday clears 21 and a sprinkle. Wednesday 22, Thursday dips 17 for Christmas Day. Then we start to see some warmth Friday, 20 for the first day of the test. And Saturday starts to feel like summer, 27. So we do have a very wet day on the cards tomorrow with the chance of afternoon storms about the city. But it is time for Pet of the Week.
Smiley is our final Pet of the Week star for 2025. The almost 2-year-old Staffy has come a long way since he first arrived at the shelter and is looking for a family who can help keep him calm, build his confidence and continue his training. Smiley will want to be the centre of attention, so he's perfect for a house with no other dogs, and he loves a cuddle. Now, since starting the segment earlier this year, 30 out of 41 animals have found their forever homes. We featured 21 dogs, 14 cats, 8 rabbits and 2 guinea pigs, and cannot wait to find more homes next year.
And it is the highlight of my week each week. Some very deserving animals there to find their forever homes. But before I go, Blake, the community of Don Vale want to say one more thing.
Vote